Visit abaeservices.com for fast medical transcription service. This podcast episode is brought to you by AB Music Creative.
This episode is brought to you by Dr. Lourdes Capulong.
When did you realize in your head that it was going to be your career?
When I had the opportunity to make it on Los Angeles radio.
I want to hear that story. How did that opportunity come about?
So that opportunity, years and years of DJing, years and years
How
of
many
doing
years?
clubs. I was probably 8-9 years in at this point.
Wow.
And so I was maybe 15, 16 when I first started. And then it was about 25, 26 when I got my first break in radio. But at that point, we were already doing a lot of clubs.
Okay.
And so we were doing all the clubs in the ballrooms and hotels and different things like that. But in the 90s, it shifted. Asians became kind of a cool crowd to have in their club because, hey, this crowd drinks. Hey, this crowd spends money. Hey. So, it was either black or white or Latino that dominated your Friday, Saturday nights.
Yes.
So they gave us Filipinos and Asians the off nights. They would give us a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Sunday.
and a Sunday.
Yeah.
So they would give us those in the premium clubs in Hollywood, And so when we finally worked our way up to doing a Thursday or a Sunday, we would pick like a holiday Sunday or something so that there's no work on Monday.
Right.
It was just years and years of building up our own clubs until we got to that point. And it was when I was attending these record meetings, they would invite you. They would invite you to these record labels.
Yes. When was this? In the 90s already?
This was in the 90s, mid-90s already, 95, 96 maybe. And
so like a junket kind of...
And so, I was part of a record pool, and that record pool allowed us as members to come to these larger meetings at Motown Records or Interscope Records or whatever label. So my first opportunity was I went to Motown Records. I met some of my radio DJ heroes that I listened to on the radio growing up. I would listen to them religiously, mixing their music on air, and a lot of my style came from them, listening to them and kind of copying and making my style out of their style. But I got to meet them at Motown Records, and at that point I said, oh my God, I have a club that I do, like Asians, like Filipinos, we have a good scene. You got to come check it out. And we were at Prince's nightclub at that point. We were doing Glam Slam, which was Prince's nightclub, 333 Boylston, right there in downtown Los Angeles.
That's a big place.
Big spot, yeah. So he was impressed. He's like, "Wow, you guys are in this spot on a Thursday night, and you're pulling 1,500 people. Okay, I'm gonna check this out." So Julio G, to his credit, he came out. He took me up on my invite. Came out and he was just blown away. He's just blown away seeing Filipinos rocking to hip hop, R&B, funk, reggae, just
everything,
all these different styles of music. And he's like, because he's thinking Asians are into house or they're into dance or even new wave or anything else but all those different genres. And when he saw that, it was just he blew his mind. And so at that point, Julio G was working under Easy E at 92.3 The Beat. And Easy E unfortunately passed away. And so Julio G took over his time slot. And he gave an opportunity to up-and-coming DJs to spin on the air. And,
so not specifically you or...
specifically our group, the Beat Junkies.
Yeah.
He gave an opportunity to first. So Melody was the world champion at that point. He gave Melody a slot, and then I was right behind him, and he gave me an opportunity.
When you say world champion, are we talking DMC?
Yes, DMC.
Okay.
Well, it wasn't exactly DMC at that time. It was Vestex, which was the sister
Of DMC.
of DMC. Yes.
And then, so now you're on the radio, finished with college or dropped out of school?
Well, I started in the radio, and then that delayed my college and delayed. And then, yeah, years later, I didn't finish. Sorry, you guys. Sorry, I didn't finish.
What did your parents say at this point?
They were disappointed because, of course, they want you to finish. And, like my parents, they sacrifice everything for me and my sister to come here and become professionals and have a better life in their eyes,
Right.
And better life was not musician life or DJ life or music life, because my grandpa was a musician and they know that life, and he had to become a police officer or police
Yes.
to make ends meet and stuff like that. But yeah, they envisioned something else for me. They didn't envision DJing.
Were there any regrets not pursuing a degree?
No regrets on my end. I hated school.
So now you were doing this. When did you begin to actually tell yourself? When did you begin to tell yourself that, you know what, this is it. This is going to be my journey, and I'm gonna fully commit to it. When did that happen?
So when I made it onto 92.3 The Beat, especially when I was asked to do a daily set. So I started.
Daily set.
I started on Friday nights. Julio G gave me my start, and he allowed me to do every Friday, and that went on for maybe 5-6 months. And in that 5-6 months, I would literally go to the station 3-4 hours earlier than my set, walk around, meet everybody, meet the general managers, meet the salespeople, meet everybody throughout the office, accounting, everybody, just to get to know everyone.
Yeah.
But as I saw that and I'm meeting everybody in the different departments, I'm like, man, this is a corporation. This is a business. This is a real, legitimate thing. And so the air personalities, of course, were the main, the
Frontliners,
They were the
right?
frontliners.
Yeah.
They were your stars. And then us as the DJs, we were secondary, because we were still on air. And but I wasn't the one talking.
Yes.
Julio G and Theo and all these guys were the ones talking.
Yes.
And so they were the stars. We were supplementary, or we were the co-stars to them,
So
But I knew that there was a future in it, because then, after seeing how a radio station operated and seeing everything, and then being invited to other record labels and things, I saw that there was a career path here, that you could do something and make it a career.